Everyone wants passive income, but most people are building systems that are anything but passive. In reality, what gets labeled as passive income is often just delayed labor, disguised responsibility, or high-maintenance side businesses that require constant attention. The idea sounds simple. Set something up once and get paid forever. But that framing has led millions of people to chase strategies that increase stress instead of reducing it. The truth is, most passive income paths still demand time, decision-making, customer management, and constant optimization. The real issue is not the concept of passive income itself, but the misunderstanding of what it takes to build it. People see highlight reels of rental income, dividend portfolios, or online businesses, and assume those results happen without a foundation of structure, capital, or long-term effort. What they don't see is the front-loaded work, the risk exposure, and the system's maintenance behind the scenes. This creates a cycle where individuals jump from one income idea to another, hoping for a breakthrough that never stabilizes. Instead of building durable wealth systems, they end up building fragmented income streams that collapse without constant attention. The goal should not be no work income, but leveraged income that scales beyond your time. Once that shift in thinking happens, everything changes about how wealth is built. One of the biggest myths is that passive income means no effort. This misunderstanding is the root cause of failed side projects and abandoned income streams. Every legitimate income system requires either upfront effort, capital investment, or ongoing oversight. The passive label is misleading because it hides the work required before anything becomes self-sustaining. Take digital products, for example. People assume an ebook or a course will generate automatic income indefinitely. In practice, creation is only the beginning. You still need marketing, distribution, audience building, updates, customer support, and platform management. Without these, sales decline rapidly. The same applies to real estate. Rental income sounds passive until you factor in tenant issues, maintenance costs, vacancies, and compliance requirements. The reality is that income is rarely passive in the beginning phase. It transitions into a more leveraged structure only after systems are built, tested, and stabilized. This transition period is where most people quit because expectations were never aligned with reality. They expected immediate automation instead of gradual systematization. Understanding this removes frustration. It reframes passive income as a process of reducing involvement over time, not eliminating it entirely. The more accurate goal is decreasing marginal effort per dollar earned, not removing effort altogether. This shift alone filters out unrealistic strategies and focuses attention on models that can actually scale. Real wealth is built through leverage, not passivity. Leverage means your time, capital, or intellectual output is amplified through systems that extend beyond your direct input. This can take the form of financial leverage, technological leverage, or human leverage. The common thread is that your output is multiplied without a proportional increase in effort. For example, index investing is often misunderstood as passive income. It is not income in the traditional sense. It is capital growth driven by market exposure and compounding. The leverage comes from time and diversification, not effort elimination. Similarly, a well-structured business may eventually run with reduced owner involvement, but only after systems, processes, and people are in place. The key difference between myths and reality is control versus expectation. Myth-based thinking assumes income should feel effortless from the start. Reality-based thinking accepts that effort is front-loaded and reduces over time through structure. This is where most financial progress is actually made. Not in finding magical income streams, but in building systems that gradually decouple earnings from direct time input. Once this is understood, decisions become more strategic. Instead of chasing easy money, the focus shifts to building assets that hold value, scale effectively, and survive without constant intervention. That is the foundation of durable wealth. Most people stay stuck in the passive income cycle because they optimize for excitement instead of sustainability. They jump into opportunities based on potential upside rather than operational reality. If something sounds simple, fast, or low-effort, it gets priority even if it lacks structure or long-term viability. This leads to a pattern of repeated resets. One month it is affiliate marketing. The next, it is crypto trading. Then it shifts to drop shipping or content monetization. Each system requires learning, setup, and adaptation, but none are maintained long enough to compound. Without compounding, there is no meaningful income growth. Another issue is underestimating friction. Every income system has friction points: customer acquisition, platform dependency, regulatory constraints, or capital requirements. These friction points determine whether something scales or collapses under pressure. Ignoring them leads to false expectations and early exits. The people who eventually succeed are not necessarily chasing better ideas. They are committing to fewer ideas for longer periods. They refine systems instead of restarting them. They optimize processes instead of abandoning them. And most importantly, they align expectations with operational reality. Stability in income does not come from finding the perfect model. It comes from staying in the same model long enough to make it efficient. What actually works is building layered income systems that combine stability, leverage, and time efficiency. This often starts with active income, transitions into semi-automated systems, and eventually evolves into diversified asset-based income. The transition is gradual, not immediate. A strong foundation typically includes earned income that funds investments, investments that compound over time, and systems that reduce dependence on direct labor. Each layer supports the next. Without this structure, income remains fragile and reactive. The goal is not to eliminate work, but to redesign it. Work becomes more strategic, less repetitive, and increasingly detached from direct hourly output. Over time, this creates financial flexibility, not instant freedom. Passive income, in its truest form, is not a starting point. It is an outcome of structured effort, disciplined allocation, and long-term thinking. Once that reality is accepted, the entire approach to money changes. Instead of chasing shortcuts, focus shifts to building systems that quietly grow in the background while becoming less dependent on your time. That is where real financial progress begins. If this helped, like and subscribe to the Daily Yield, because we are making real financial progress, one step at a time.